my name is Savannah Slade, and today I'm going to be speaking about the artificial creation and preservation of life. So the question that guided my research was the following: should the artificial creation and preservation of life be utilized? I believe yes, and this can be done through the use of the artificial womb and artificial life. So what is artificial life? Essentially, the first artificial life form was created in 2010 by Dr. Venter. He and his team created a new chromosome from artificial DNA and placed it in an empty cell where it then multiplied, essentially the definition of life. Yet not much is known about artificial life because it is still in the very primitive stages of development, but in theory it has the capability to greatly improve human life and the environment as we know it. Alright, so artificial life could benefit those who are usually unable to have children, such as same-sex or infertile couples, and could put an end to surrogate mothers, which are sometimes argued to be exploitive. This technology would also allow some couples to wait to have children later in life when they are more prepared. This would greatly improve the child's chances at growing up in a healthy environment rather than a rough or abusive one that could end in trauma or mental illness. Artificial life also has the potential to end gender boundaries by making both parents equally responsible for the creation of the child. This would serve as a social equalizer and could help take the bias out of custody battles where courts tend to favor the mother. This technology would also give women the personal choice to skip painful development and birth and could effectively help save their bodies. And artificial life also has the potential to be altered or edited, which could prove to be beneficial or interesting for the parents, because they could choose how the baby looks, how healthy it is, what it might specialize in, and many other possibilities. And this possibility of alteration could help effectively rid the world of genetic disorders such as Huntington's disease or Down syndrome. So this also has the chance to help improve the human race as we know it. So this possibility of alteration of DNA could produce a stronger, smarter, more resistant human race free of diseases or defects. And some doctors are even working with artificial life to help create vaccines to help combat disease. And with the steadily climbing population and global warming, artificial life might prove to be extremely beneficial because even now some doctors are working with or testing and developing ideas for artificial organisms that are capable of cleaning pollution from the land, air, or water. And artificial life could also be utilized to create new foods capable of sustaining large populations, which could be a possible answer for world hunger. This technology could potentially help reverse years of strain and pollution put on the earth by humans. So what is the artificial womb? The artificial womb is an alternative to the natural womb and helped aid in the development of 8 fetal lambs. This choice was due to previous research that lamb fetuses are a good model for human fetal development. The artificial womb itself is a clear plastic bag containing synthetic amniotic fluid and contains an outside machine connected to the umbilical cord that filters blood and provides nutrition. So by mimicking the natural womb's environment, the artificial womb allowed the lambs to grow wool, open their eyes, move around, and even learn to swallow. So the artificial womb could help improve the equality of men to women in the world by removing the majority of reproductive responsibility from the woman. Because of this, both the mother and the father would be equally responsible in the creation and upbringing of the child. Because of this, it might possibly change some of society's views that women are weaker and motherly and maybe should stay at home. And this would greatly increase women's chances of being more successful and possibly even equal to men. So because the artificial womb carries the child to term for the mother, women would no longer have to go on maternity leave, which can make them more attractive to businesses hiring and could increase their chances in the business world even more than before. And this would also give, like I said before, the women the chance to save their bodies from stretch marks or scars that society tends to dislike or view as unattractive from the pregnancy. And it could also help in the fight on abortion because the baby could be removed from the mother's womb early on in development and placed in the artificial womb until it was ready to be adopted, allowing both sides to win. So along with this, this technology would allow parents to not really ever have to face the pain of losing a child due to it being born prematurely. So this technology would allow the baby's development to be closely monitored, where defects would be easier to notice and would allow doctors more time to try and correct them, which would likely greatly decrease the amount of medical issues seen with infants. And this would aid countless premature babies' lives who are more prone to suffering injury from surgery or handling due to their extremely thin or sensitive skin. And the artificial womb is also much safer than the natural womb, where babies could be exposed to contaminants like diseases or drugs. So as I said before, this technology would allow doctors to closely monitor babies as the sensors allowed members of the MIT Media Lab to monitor their lab on a translucent model, which benefits both users. And as we know, scientists have obviously not mastered the scale of artificial creation and preservation of life, but they're gaining plenty of crucial information through these tests, which will prove to be beneficial in the future as Richard Axel and his team gain knowledge working on a whole country. So although there are plenty of potential benefits, there are also some drawbacks. So even now, some question if this technology is ethical. And acknowledging that, research had followed a strict 14-day rule where they stopped studying the artificial life and sterilized it after 2 weeks of creation. And though it may not be ethical to take over women's natural roles as mothers who carry their child to term, it would be even more unethical if we did not at least utilize this technology to save premature babies. And plenty of people would believe that humans should not play God and that this would allow them to do that. But humans have been playing God over other species and even over each other for plenty of years, and this wouldn't really be different, and it would benefit plenty of people. So in conclusion, I believe that the artificial creation and preservation of life should be utilized to create, save, and improve human life. And the use of ethical research has been implemented with the 14-day rule, and doctors state that they will not begin human trials until they are sure that the babies will not suffer from severe stress or pain. Thank you.
All right. So let me ask you questions. So how did your research question evolve through the process, and did it go in a different direction than you originally planned?
I originally started to focus just on the artificial womb, but then I realized that artificial life had they kind of went hand in hand, and it allowed me to develop a broader question, but it was still interesting and gave me plenty of things to research because the artificial womb itself was a little bit too narrow for this, I think.
Okay. If you have more time, what additional research would you conduct related to the issue?
Well, obviously, if I had more time, years, I would see if this technology actually worked, but I would try and find more sources and see if anybody else has done any more tests with these to see how successful or not they were.
Okay.